Hey everyone, so let's just get right into it with another Star Wars lore dive. Here we are going to step aside temporarily from the awesome and regular Mandalorian content we've been seeing lately to touch on something we all love and know, lightsabers. Specifically the lightsabers that we see wielded by dark side adepts, acolytes, and Sith. Their dark, red, crimson blades and how they are formed. So just like every Jedi, a dark side user has a Kyber Crystal at the heart of their weapon. That's not any different, but there is one key difference. While the Jedi and users of the light side of the Force take their Kyber Crystals as is, and they use it in their hilts, users of the dark side of the Force do it far differently, or at least so it is said. What they do is they conduct the art and work that is called bleeding the Kyber Crystal. That is twisting it into its intimidating red form. And how they do it, let's discuss. Bleeding a lightsaber crystal, or a Kyber Crystal, it was done by those adept in the dark side of the Force. It was a process of manipulation and torment on the crystal itself. Like I said, not to anyone or any being, but instead to the Kyber Crystal itself. Let's look at some tenets of the dark side. Pain, fear, anger, suffering, rage. A dark-sided Force user would take those tenets as they live within them and unleash them onto the crystal. And as we know, especially from Anakin Skywalker, emotions like these run strong in those attuned to the dark side of the Force. So imagine what it could do to something as Force-connected as a Kyber Crystal. I see it similar as to what we see with Sith eyes. By that I mean the corrupted glow we see in the gaze of Vader before the suit, as well as his master, Darth Sidious. I mean, we even see it in Legends with Revan and the Exile. In a way, to me, this shows that when those core things, the pain, the suffering, the anger, just all of it, when those things are pushed into a body like a living being or a Kyber Crystal, it reflects it. The crystal becomes unnatural and crimson, and the eyes will do the same. So I do see a strong connection there. It's clear, it's strong, it's apparent as ever. Now we do have to keep in mind that Kyber Crystals, the item that brings to life the weapon of a Jedi or Sith, are very connected to the light side of the Force. So bleeding was not an easy task for the Darksider. At times, the crystals could even resist. At other times, they could shatter the mind of the Sith trying to bleed them. Temporarily, anyways. At a certain time in history, even Darth Vader attempted to bleed a crystal of another Jedi. The crystal put up a fight through the Force. It tossed visions at Vader, all the way to throwing him back. But this wasn't the case for all and any. It depended on the crystal, so it went from crystal to crystal, whether they were bled after being taken from a Jedi, a Jedi they were attuned to, or whether they were taken from Force caves on planets, such as Ilum or Dantooine. But this was not a one-way street. Just as those of the dark side could bleed, those of the light could cleanse. So this could certainly go both ways. If a Jedi or person bonded to the light side came into possession of a bled crystal, they could attempt to process it themselves. So just as a Kyber Crystal could be tainted and twisted by darkness, it could also be purged and repaired by light. Therein we find balance. I think it even shows the balancing acts between generations and the poetry we find in a lot of Star Wars, at least the Skywalker saga. Even if that was an accident by everyone who made this up, in the lore people, which I'm sure it was, but it's still a neat note that I see in there and I thought I'd share with you guys. In the end, bleeding was not complicated to enact or attempt, but completing it ultimately depended on the crystal, its origins, and the level of the rage, pain, and sufferings within the Sith or dark side user attempting to do so. If enough is channeled, the task is easier though, and so do remember, Sith often get to the heights of their power by channeling their strong emotions and sensations. We know that and we've seen it in legends, in movies, in shows, and comics. So like I said, it all depends on how they channel that and what they channel it into, but this is how it was done. Anyways, thank you for listening, and thanks for sticking around for a short one-off lore dive. If you enjoyed this content, please toss up a like or subscribe. It truly helps tons, and we want to grow the channel. That's one way to do it. I've truly had a blast making these videos, and I'm enjoying seeing others appreciate them as much as I appreciate making them. So I do promise you more content about Star Wars is coming regularly. Anyways, until next time, may the Force be with you, and stay safe, everyone. I will catch you on the next one.